All right, welcome to the podcast. Today we have Keith and Justin on from JK Hunting and Fishing. They have a YouTube page, JK Hunting and Fishing. It's instructional videos, them hunting, fishing, making things, instructional videos. Great to have them on, telling some good stories. I want to thank our sponsor, the Virtue Builders. I appreciate them sponsoring us so we can do this, and I hope you guys enjoy the episode. This is White Oak Creek Outdoors, a podcast for everyone with a passion for the outdoors.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. White Oak Creek Outdoors, and we got some guests today.
You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Sure. My name is Keith Leott from JK Hunting and Fishing.
Justin Sargent from JK Hunting and Fishing.
Cool. So what do you guys got going on with your page?
Well, COVID kind of was the reason why we started it. We didn't have a whole lot going on. I was furloughed for 3 months, I think it was. And then his brother happened to have it wasn't really a GoPro, it was like the fake Vivitar brand one. And then he had a GoPro that you could have, right?
Yeah. He ended up giving me a nice, GoPro 8 or 7?
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Something like that. So we figured why not try to start recording. We already hunted and fished and everything, so we figured why not record it and share it with everybody else.
Yep. Now, do you guys just use the GoPros for right now? Or do you guys have like an actual camera?
We have 2 cameras, but we don't use them as much. We're starting to get into it, but it's still a little new to us with the big cameras.
What do you guys like better, the ease of the GoPro or?
It's definitely a lot handier just having a GoPro strapped to your chest or having it clipped on or something than it is trying to like finagle another camera. Like I've tried it. If I'm sitting on the ground, it's not too big of a deal because I have a tripod right there, but otherwise it's just a pain.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been doing this?
4 or 5 months probably.
Yeah, something
Pretty
like
new.
that.
Pretty
Nice. So are you planning on like hunting or recording your hunts and fishing experiences?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started with the turkey hunting
new.
a little bit,
Yep.
but we didn't have too many videos of that out yet, so.
I don't think we ever posted a video on that because we never had. And
That was
we're
like
still
a
trying to
start.
learn how to like film it and everything, and
Right.
we never got anything good enough to post.
Yeah, that I feel like that's the hardest part is knowing how to film, edit. Like I suck at the computer end of things. It's bad. But what I started doing was I used like a recorder, like a Canon recorder.
Yep.
And I bought a tripod, and that for me it's difficult because like you said the GoPro is super easy, but the picture on the actual cameras are so much better. So it's kind of like a give and take thing, but it is easier with more people because then you can have one person film, you can have one person either hunting or fishing. It's just so much easier.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think the just like the awkwardness of like at first when you have a camera, it's like I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna cast. But I think once like you get into it and stuff like that, obviously it should be a lot of fun, and especially like just the experience, capturing those moments of like getting the big fish. Because I'm a big fisherman. I've only hunted like a handful of times, and obviously I've never got anything. So I'm into the fishing aspect of it. So I would imagine like catching a big fish and like recording that moment would be cool.
Yeah.
So
That's what we're hoping for too. And like the hardest part I have is like talking to the camera is so awkward. Like it's so uncomfortable the first few times I do it. And like
Even me now, I've been doing it for a little bit, but even podcasting, it's just awkward for me. That's just not me.
I don't know if you noticed, but I got a little clammy since we started. It's something like this isn't natural for me.
No, it is really weird. It's hard to get used to. That's
It
for
is.
certain.
It is.
This is our 3rd time doing it, and it's still.
It's just not. It's not the norm. Like
Right,
you're not supposed to have headphones on. And it's just not the norm. But I enjoy it because it gets people together. It gets information out there, and I think it's different than the normal podcasts that are out there that are strictly professional hunters or fishermen, or that's what they do is podcasts or TV shows, or it adds a real element to what people are actually like that actually do this kind of stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Because like Justin and I, we're regular dudes. We don't make 6 figures a year and have
Right.
all this money to spend on gear and this and that. Like we're squeaking by to like sometimes buy the cheapest thing we can if it means getting ourselves in the woods or getting out in the water. Like if it works, that's all I care about. I don't care what brand it is. I don't care like how much it costs, as long as it's cheap enough that I can afford it and it's gonna work.
Exactly.
Also waiting until like the clearance. For
Oh yeah, Walmart
Right
clearance.
now for
Yeah,
that's the best part right there.
yeah. Sign me up.
Yep.
Clearance is always worth it. Clearance is always worth it.
That it just goes to show how much that stuff is marked up too. Because, like I said in the last podcast, I bought the lifelines that are originally like $30 a piece. I got them for $7 a piece. Like you're basically giving those things away.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
so I kind of wanted to touch on like where you guys hunt out of. Don't say any spots. Just what state and what got you guys into the outdoors.
I mean, if you want to give me a spot, I mean,
You don't want to go to my spots. I haven't shot anything either, so. You want to start?
Sure. So one spot that I definitely checked out, but I haven't hunted. I let Keith hunt it pretty good. Was in North Berwick. It was behind one of my parents' house, and I got a nice picture on my trail cam of a, what would you say, a 10, and then a
He was
12.
at least a 10 pointer, and it was like a funky 10. It wasn't
Yeah.
just like straight up like nice
Yeah.
shape. It was just had a lot of character to it.
No kidding.
But he never saw it. And then another couple places is in Raymond and was it Lee. And I had a 8-pointer on camera and a 6 and a couple, at least 3 or 4 spikes in the Lee.
now, so just a little backstory on me. I'm not from New Hampshire, Northeast. I'm actually from Florida,
Okay.
and so my job brought me up here. So hunting in general is just like what I know of New England alone, right? Is it crowded when you go to those areas? Like obviously behind your parents' house is probably not crowded, but like Lee and Raymond, are those like crowded areas that you're like you see another hunter out there?
So behind my parents, it can be crowded because you got 2 roads, but everything in between it, from one road to the next road is probably 5 miles, and the woods goes from the main road back another maybe 20 miles. But there's people going in both sides
Yeah.
of the roads.
Oh wow.
So, not that you'd see someone. My neighbor hunts it as well, but he doesn't hunt it as much because he also moved. So he was out there once in a while, but not compared to, like, in Raymond. There's at least 3 people that I saw walk down or walk out with me.
Are you guys ever worried about your cameras and your equipment getting stolen? I see
was
that,
gonna ask that.
a lot of on like New Hampshire or Maine hunting pages.
So I did set one up on 16 off one of the railroads, and that camera did get taken.
Really?
That's where I got a spike a couple of years ago, and I set it back up because there was an 8-pointer out there, and my brother went to go check on it, and it was gone.
Oh
But
my
they
goodness.
messed with it when I was getting the spike and the 8-pointer 3 or 4 years ago too, so I knew they knew it was going to be there again. So
Wow.
That's crazy. That's just
That
so
sucks.
crazy to me
Yeah.
that people, even tree stands, like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a lot of work to take a tree stand down.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that takes a special kind of person to do that to somebody.
Right. I mean, I'm fortunate enough, like, most of the land I hunt is private. Somebody's land that I know, they didn't
Yeah.
give permission to anybody else kind of thing. One of them being my uncle, he owns 150 acres, so
Wow.
plenty of room there. And actually, the place I moved into in Maine, I just hunt right behind my apartment, so
That's
it works
awesome.
out well there. But I've had a couple instances where I suspect somebody messed with my camera, but I never had one taken. Because there
Yeah.
was one camera I walked up to, and it was totally crooked on the tree, which was weird. And then I went up to it, and there was nothing on camera. And like every other time I'd gone to check that trail cam, there's tons of pictures. So
Yeah.
I suspect that like it wasn't the camera batteries weren't dead, nothing like that. So I think somebody like opened it up. I don't know why you would just clear somebody's camera. But it
I've
seems like a
had
weird
that
thing to do.
happen
Yeah.
numerous times.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah, someone will like, they'll see the camera and they're like, "Oh crap! Now I'm on camera,"
That's
and
true.
they'll erase all the pictures.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They did that to the one that got stolen. When they were messing with it before it got stolen,
Yep.
they cleared some out because I knew he would have been on there, and there was nothing but me going in and out. They deleted everything but me. So I
Wow.
was like, yeah.
That's
I remember
dedication.
I set up a spot up in Wakefield, and the whole bow season it was just me. It was awesome. Had my camera set up and no issues. And then once rifle season started, there was literally a stand like less than 15 yards in the tree next to
I
me. Like
remember
it was facing me. So I'd be looking this way and the stand would be facing this way. I always hoped that guy would be there
Yeah.
or girl would be there. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You saw this like bright orange stand here.
That couldn't have been 60 yards
Yeah.
Jeez.
from his stand, looking directly at his stand.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I was like, I don't know how you didn't see that setting up your spot.
No, they saw it. They didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, I've been hunting here longer, son.
So when you guys are hunting, I would consider that southernish New Hampshire, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Raymond. That's like pressured pretty hard. Do you notice that deer are getting pushed around pretty hard, and you're finding a hard time, like, I guess, patterning deer?
So do you wait before you answer that? Do you guys you hunt both Maine and New Hampshire? Is that
Deer, yeah.
okay? Gotcha.
You didn't hunt Maine last year, right? No.
Oh,
No, I stuck with New Hampshire only because I moved up to Raymond and it was
Gotcha.
such a travel that I let him hunt.
Gotcha. I was just a little confused there.
Yeah,
So
All
that
right.
was a little easier.
Yeah, where I'm kind of right on the border of Maine and Hampshire.
Right,
It's easy
right.
for me to hunt either one.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I mean, from my experience, I mean, I have like a 3 or 4 cameras now, and I've put them on a pretty small chunk of property, and I still can't seem to figure out like where they're going, why they're going there, and I'm the only one that hunts that property. But I'm pretty sure I've heard gunshots during the season on either side of me, so I don't doubt that they're pushing them somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Either pushing them away from you before they get to you, or just keeping them away from you altogether.
Yeah.
So actually, I think I sent you the picture of the 10-pointer I had on camera last spring, and then I got him in velvet. Then I got him again later on, maybe like July, I think, something like that.
July.
And I got him one more time, and gone. Never saw him again. Still haven't seen him.
Like, it's weird because like once a certain point of the year hits, like the deer change their whole like mindset. Because I was tracking them like weekly and monthly on my camera, going through this one spot nonstop,
Yeah.
and then a certain point of the year or the month is just like they're gone forever. Whether that was the people who were hiking through my zone or what, but I never saw a deer again through there, and I was like, good grief.
Yeah, I mean, because they always change. Like even just last year, I had a 6 or 8 pointer that I had a couple times on camera. I think I sent them to you, and then as soon as the season came, it disappeared. It's like I know what time of day it is. I ain't coming back.
Yeah, it's usually that September, October, time frame where they start changing pretty hard. That's why, for me anyways, I like the first week of bow season, because you can somewhat still keep that pattern, and you're going to get either lucky or that they're coming through at that exact same time, because I've had that happen. Like last year with the 2 does I shot on the 16th and 17th, I knew, like, same time, same spot, every day. So I knew that, I literally knew I was going out there and just shooting a deer. I just knew I was. And then you start getting into like later October, and it's a crapshoot after that, really. It's, just try to pick your spots, because those bucks, they don't do the same thing twice. And if they do, you're lucky.
Yeah.
Like that, the one I shot this previous year, that one up there, did the same thing twice, and that's where he screwed up. I saw him go by at 2 o'clock on my cell phone camera the day before, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go try that. So I got in there at 1:30, 2 o'clock, same exact thing. Amazing. Wow. So it's more trying to pattern them and knowing why they're going to the places that they're going.
Yeah.
Is the big thing.
I mean, to your point earlier, the weird thing for me is the only time I've ever had a hunter, like you were saying, had people walk through or whatever, the only time I had that happen where somebody walked through while I was hunting and totally blew up my spot was when we hunted up north, which you would think would be the opposite, 'cause we're up in these bridges where really nobody else should have been.
Yeah.
And sure enough, this guy comes stumbling through him. He warns me and goes, hey, just had a guy blow me up. He goes, I told him where you were, so hopefully he won't blow you up. Next thing I know, I hear crushes, snapping it, I turn around, sure enough, there he is.
No kidding.
Right
Yeah.
towards them.
Oh, and I'm waving orange around, trying to be like, dude, I'm right here. And he got within like 20 yards before he realized I was there.
Really?
I just stood up like, what are you doing,
I know.
dude? What are you doing?
Just shot a round off good.
Well, no one's hunting today. Let's go
Right.
get drinks.
Now, when you say up north, is it up north New Hampshire or up north Maine?
That was northern New Hampshire. It's kind of like northwestern New Hampshire.
Where'd you go?
Uh,
Bridgewater? Something like
Bridgewater, yeah.
that? Somewhere around that area.
Where's Bridgewater?
I'm not sure.
It's like an hour away from Raymond, so probably from here it'd be like 2 hours.
Yeah, it was at least that. I was trying to remember what it was near. I don't remember now.
Is it big? It's big woods, though. I'm guessing.
Yeah,
Woods.
just
Yeah.
a lot of, not much flat ground whatsoever.
Now, would you guys rather hunt small parcels or big woods?
I think there's aspects to both that I like, but if I had to choose, probably big woods. I enjoy it more. But I say that as last year I spent most of the time in small chunks of wood, but really I just try to go wherever I see the most fresh sign.
So how do you do you do tree stand? Do you walk? Do you do blinds?
So I tried the blind thing last year for the first time, but I was also trying my first time bow hunting ever. And realized bow hunting on a blind's kind of a pain in the ass. Like, I'm a big dude like you are, and I tried to draw. My front hands like touched like out the window almost. My elbows hitting the back of the blind. I'm like, well, this isn't gonna work. It's easy to hear me if I try to draw back in here.
Yep.
But
I hear that one.
so I do the stand thing, but I listened to you guys' previous podcast, and I'm a lot like you. I'm not a huge fan of it, especially considering this last year. I usually make him set up my stands for me. I won't go up it.
Every time.
If it's not ratcheted to the tree, I'm not going up it. And so I'm up there. I had been there for an hour and a half, and all of a sudden I feel the whole tree stand shift like 3 or 4 inches down. And my heart sunk, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm getting down for the day. So we got down, climbed down. Actually, no, it was bow hunting. So bow down, climbed down, and didn't go back up the rest of the season. Actually, now that I think about it.
That's when you know the tree stand is set. Is when it.
And that's
Things
honestly
like that.
after I got down, I like tried to wiggle this off. I'm like, wow, that thing's solid now.
Yeah, I've had it happen to me, and same thing. You feel like you're falling out of the tree,
Yeah.
but then you're like, okay, I can't fall any further. I'm good.
Yeah.
That thought crossed my mind for a little while, and then I was just like, no, not feeling it. I'm gonna get down.
No. I'd cut that tree down. It's faulty, defective.
Just get a telephone pole, bring it out right.
It's funny story. Me and Brian went to set up a double ladder stand. Perfect spot. I get the tree, the ladder stand up, so we get it ratcheted on the bottom. So I climb up. And he's like, it's kind of coming uprooted on the bottom here, and I'm like, it's good. We're fine. I look up, and it was like 4 feet above me, just cut right off, deader than a doornail, and it started like going right over, and I scurried back down, and we took it out. That could have been bad.
Ooh, yeah.
Just what I set up, dude. It's one of those times all right, well, let's see what happens. Probably would have like a 12-point buck on that
Right.
thing too. Which one do you want? Concussion
As
or
you're shooting,
12-point
just
buck?
fall sideways.
So you guys do fishing as well, right?
Yeah. Big
What-
fisherman.
What do you guys fish for? Freshwater, saltwater?
A little bit of both.
Yeah, so I was a big freshwater fisherman, not a huge fan of saltwater for the longest time. He took me striper fishing, and I have to admit, that's a good time. But
Yeah.
Yes.
that's kind of the extent of my saltwater fishing. Other than that, I'm not a big fan of traveling miles out in the ocean and just dropping a line down, hoping to catch whatever species. I don't know, I like the chasing the stripers around, and mostly largemouth is my favorite. That or pike.
Pike.
Yeah.
Pike?
Pike's
I never caught pike. I've never done that. I've always caught bass up here, striper off the shore, and that's it from up in New Hampshire. But I'm from West Palm Beach or Miami, Florida, that area, South Florida. So growing up, every Saturday, my dad and I would go pay $20, get on a drift boat, and hit the reefs, and we'd catch kingfish, and that kingfish are a fight. If you're about to fight, that's where it's at, man. It's so much fun, and it's good eating too.
Yeah.
And then freshwater, I always did bass, gator, and catfish were my 3 fish or animals in the
I was
freshwater
gonna
side
say
of catch.
a gator isn't really a fish.
Well, I mean, it's
From the way he catches them, I think he thinks
You
it is.
crazy motherfucker.
I heard that.
Dude.
Guys catching them on a line, basically, weren't you?
Yep. So I would throw
wow.
a hook and I just cast it over their snout and just bring them in and snap them, and then it was just a fight. I love the fight of fishing. Like catching the fish, bringing them up, that's cool, but the actual battle is my favorite. So I would bring once when we would get them up on the shore, we were kids and we didn't have guns. My parents wouldn't let me have guns, so we'd have
Gee, I wonder why.
We had bats and pipes and stuff, and so we beat the shit out of these gators until they wouldn't move anymore. We flip them over and gut them. We bring them to our buddy John's stepdad's house, and he'd give us the meat, but he'd keep the skin, right?
Oh,
Which
wow.
fair trade. I mean, as a kid, I didn't care. I just
Right.
wanted to eat the gator meat. So.
But isn't gator actually a hunting animal? So aren't you supposed to tag it?
Correct. You're supposed to.
Right.
He's not saying anything that's legal about what he did.
I cannot confirm nor deny I had a license. However, I did not have a license, so I would just get the meat. Okay, I was a kid, so I didn't know any better.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I was just wondering because I was just more curious as they considered that an alligator more as a game animal, not as a fish.
Correct. I think you still had to get the hunting tag for it. You're right.
Right.
And like it was only I think 1 or 2 for the season. Or something like
Gotcha.
that.
It really that little?
Yeah. It wasn't a lot in Florida because it's not like Louisiana where like they live in the bayous.
Okay, because I was going to ask that because you see the swamp people
Right.
show where they're getting like
About
100 of them.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same question.
Yeah, so like where I grew up, it's not like I mean, their gators are everywhere, but it's not like a common hunting thing. To sense, it's more just like the Everglades and the gators that live there and whatever. So it was just more out of like fun and whatever what kids did.
Do you guys have redfish down there?
Like snapper.
No, what do they call them? The ones I was watching on. What do they just call them? Redfish or red bass, red something.
I think it was. I can't remember now.
Yeah, I think it was more like Louisiana stuff. But so another reason why we started the whole YouTube thing too was because while I was on furlough, anyways, he had to work all the time. But I was all of a sudden decided I was gonna start watching. No, I started on Prime. I was watching the Hunt in Public. I don't know if you guys watched that.
Yeah.
And I really liked their videos. And then somehow I got into like the Guggen Squad videos. And a lot of the Guggen Squad guys fish down in Florida and stuff like that. And I think it was Louisiana though that they were fishing.
Yeah,
for,
so redfish, they're up in like the Panhandle area
Okay.
for sure. Like down by where I'm at, and it's like yellowtail snapper, red snapper. You have like ocean fish wise, you have like mahi. You have the whole reefs, so it's all like
Okay.
tropical type fishing. So mahi and all that stuff. So
I think if we had red snapper, I'd actually go fishing. I fucking love that.
Yeah.
It's actually good.
yellowtail snapper is really good to eat too.
Yeah, it is.
Do like sashimi is what it's called, right? When you just you do it right on the boat and you just eat it fresh.
So,
Yeah,
That's
well,
good.
We're not gonna do that, but
I don't think I'd do that either.
Oh wow,
maybe try it once, but
it's not bad. It's
I'd
just
I'd
fresh.
give it
Do
a
that
shot.
with,
But
that with a little bit of soy sauce is nothing different than sushi.
I mean, I feel like
well, that's the problem right there.
I feel like I'm probably not a true fisherman anyway, so I catch and release. I don't eat much, but for
So
fish,
freshwater I catch and release,
Yeah, yeah.
besides gator, but fresh like actual fish I catch and release. Saltwater if it's something I want to eat, then yeah. But I'm not like
it's like striper you'll keep.
maybe I've never eaten stripers. So I don't know how that is.
Do
Wow.
they like is striper a thing down in Florida?
Not that I know of.
Okay,
I don't think I've ever caught.
I think they're specific to the Northeast.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
So you probably haven't even really
no.
fished for them or even eaten them, really?
I've caught a striper. It was small, so I just released it. I do enjoy the catch and release because again, like I was saying, I enjoy the fight.
So catch a big one, you'll get the fight you're looking for.
Yeah. I enjoy just like the fight of fishing and like, all right, bringing him in. And once I get him in, I'm like, all right, cool, bet you can go back now. You know?
And that's what he hooked me on was the fight of those things. 'Cause I like bass fishing, pike fishing and stuff. They put up a fight, but when you hook them to a striper, you know it. Like they're pretty hard fighting fish.
I just started 2 years ago going up way north to was it North Fork? North. I don't remember.
I don't know. Way north now might be weird because you said Bridgewater was north.
Yeah, that's not
next to
north.
Laconia.
No, this is
Okay, listen.
border of Canada.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, that's up there.
yeah, doing muskie fishing.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
that is a fight.
See that's something I would like to try because my extent of fishing up in New England is like trout and bass. Right, that's all I really have done, and I've only fished a few spots like up in Wakefield, and then I just hit little like nooks in here, crannies here and there around the south. But definitely have to go up there and try that out.
Yeah.
You gotta have your patience to
Yes.
do that. But
Really?
We call it cast of or
Fish
thousand
of a
cash.
thousand cast.
Yeah, fish of 1,000 cast.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
One time I went up, I only caught, or both times I went up, I only caught one.
Really?
For one of them was for 7 days straight. We only got 3 fish out of 5 people.
Holy
We
shit.
even had a guide. 2 of us went on the guide's boat. He hooked onto a 45-inch one. The second day that we went fishing. And then for 3 days we didn't see anything. We tried another place, another little lake. We went away from the river. And I ended up finding a little stream coming into the lake. I cast it right out in front of the stream so all the water was pushing whatever was in that stream out. And I hooked onto it. I think it was like a 26-inch, 25-inch muskie.
Wow.
The coloring is amazing and the fight's amazing, even the small ones, but
Yeah.
it's just so far in between when
Yeah.
you catch them.
Do you guys fly fish or reel?
Real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do reel.
We tried fly fish, like our school actually for some reason. I think it was when we were like reading A River Runs Through It or something. They're like, oh, we're gonna teach you guys how to fly fish. And so we're all sitting there like on the football field trying to fly fish, and I was like so frustrated with it. I was like, never again. Like I had a rod and a reel, like a real one, like a bait caster or like a spinning rod.
Yeah.
What do I need to fly fish for? I
so
respect the
funny.
people who do it, but
It's funny because Sid did a fly fishing course at UNH
oh really?
as credit. Like
Wow.
they teach fly fishing at college. Like, what are we doing here?
Well, UNH is a pretty big ag school, so I
It
mean, that's
is.
probably why.
True.
I went to Spokane, Washington, like state, and I was fishing off like a little john boat in this lake, and I never fly fished in my life, so I was like, I just bought like a cheapo Walmart one, and I did it, and I was like, I mean, I had a few Bud Lights with me, so I was pretty toasty. And I caught one. I was like, this is the most work I think I've ever done for fishing. Like I'm used to like dropping, doing some jigs and some jerks and whatever. And this thing, I'm just like going like 80-20, 80-20. And I'm like, where does my line at half the time? And I caught this little trout, and I was like, screw this, man. I think I got to the shore, and there's a little kid. I'm like, hey, you want a fishing pole? And I gave him my fishing pole, and I left. I was like, I'm going to buy a little reel. Fuck this. That's funny.
He made us stay until he tried fishing with it.
He probably caught bigger fish than I did. I doubt it.
Do you guys ice fish at all?
A little bit.
Yeah, I would consider us like borderline beginners at it, but we enjoy it. It's something to do. Doing it
Yeah,
there.
go out on
Yeah.
the ice, drink beer, maybe catch a fish.
Pretty much, yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's time
I-
during the winter.
I like it. I just like 1 year I'll be really into it, and then another I'll not do it even once.
I mean, I'll be clear. I'm not going to go out when it's like 0 degrees and go sit on the ice. Like I don't love it that much, but
Yeah, my brother's all about it. That's all
Yeah.
he wants to do is ice fish. I'm like, you're freaking nuts.
I've never done that. I'll try that out.
You've never ice fished?
No.
oh, you gotta try that.
Oh my
Again,
God.
I'm from the south, or not.
you
I'm
could
from
do it
South
right now
Florida.
down there probably, but watch the video.
Right?
Right now, I'll probably go right through the ice.
Probably sore subject.
I saw some guys in Texas actually
Texas.
were ice fishing a little bit. I mean, they have like the inch of ice. They probably shouldn't have been on it, but
Right.
they didn't know
That's
any better.
wild.
Yeah.
Poor bastards.
Problem is down there, the fish are floating up to the sides of the rivers and stuff because they can't handle the cold.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Yep. So, you guys have any cool hunting stories, fishing stories, anything out of the ordinary that you guys?
Moose hunting in high school.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
What?
Yeah, I got picked finally.
In high school?
Yeah,
Nice.
No
Cool.
shit.
a lot of people get pissed off at this part because my family's gotten drawn between like 5 of us like 8 times.
Shut
Holy
the fuck
smokes.
up.
Yeah. I mean, did you
This
see Boucher? Him and his dad got pulled this year. Dave Boucher.
Yeah.
I messaged him when the first one came through. He goes, "Well, I don't know if it's me or my dad." And then I looked, and they're both on there.
Yeah. Lucky sons of bitches.
Yeah, so I've gotten drawn, my older brother's gotten drawn. My mother, either once or twice. My dad, either once or twice. So that's 5 right there. And then my uncle, and then me. So 7.
Jesus.
And then my other uncle, I think, just got one 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So that's about 8.
Holy smoke.
In how long of a span? Like, what do it, like,
So the first one was probably, I think, my mom or my dad. And that was probably 3 to 5 years before mine, which was 2000 and
So
Eight
probably from
or
like
7.
2005 till now.
yeah.
wow.
So 15, 16 years.
Yeah, it's almost every other year something
Almost
is dropped pretty
times.
much. Like,
Over 50%.
yeah. Yeah.
I think
Holy
only one
shit.
time we didn't get one.
That
Out of them,
fuck,
1 or 2 times we didn't get one.
that's pretty good.
Wow.
My wife
That's good
would
success rate.
fucking
Yeah.
love to go. She's obsessed with moose. Obsessed. We had a neighbor who he got one, and it was sitting on his truck, and she had a doctor's appointment. She was leaving. She stopped and like took a photo with this moose head that this guy just killed. She had no clue who he was, or he had no clue who she was. She goes, "I'm sorry, I just love moose." Holy shit.
I almost took one out in Wakefield a couple years ago. I was going down some side road and there was this little knoll, and as I came up with it was nighttime too. As I came up with the knoll, there's just this giant, like one of the most beautiful giant bull moose I've ever seen. And I had not much room to stop, so I just jacked up the brake, blocked him out. I screeched to a stop. I thought for sure, like by the time I got to him, his butt was pretty much right in front of me. His head was already kind of off to the side. I thought for sure I was going to take out his back legs and sit on my hood.
Yeah.
And I was married at the time. My ex goes, well, why didn't you hit him? That would look great on the wall. Yeah, we also could have been dead. So,
Those pretty much decapitate you if they hit you.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Did
I
you-
would have hit him broadside too.
Did you get one? Did you
Yes,
get?
I got one in high school. So
Talk about that.
You shot a moose?
Yeah, mine was 600 pounds. So for the first 3 days, I think it was in Berlin, New Hampshire, or something like Bingham, or something like that, New Hampshire. First 3 days we were driving around, didn't see nothing. We stopped, talked to other people driving around, they didn't see nothing for 3 days. So finally we ended up finding a nice long road that had a dead end with some fields on the sides going down. And we're like, next day we're going and walking down this whole road instead of driving. Because we think the vehicles are scaring them. Because when my dad and my uncles and everyone else went, we would literally just drive down the road. Oh, moose right off the road. You hop out, bang. done.
Yeah.
But this year, nothing. So we wake up next morning. I'm pretty sure it was that morning or that night we had a storm. We had to cut some trees down to get out there or something like that. We got to the road. My dad put a branch in the middle of the road to see if anyone would drive down, so it would knock over if someone hit it. So we're walking down the whole road. We get to the very end, the last field, looking around for a couple minutes, and all of a sudden I see just a flicker way out, and I'm like, bring the gun up. Flickers again, it's a near. I'm like, Dad, there's a moose out there. He's like, where? He's looking, still nothing. All of a sudden the head turns, and I'm like, it has antlers. He's looking, he's like, where? I'm like, it's trying to explain it to him. Finally,
they're
he sees
stupid.
it. It was like 130 yards, 140 out. And so he tells me to start walking down the road a little more to get a different angle. He wanted me to go 80 yards, so I'd be a little closer. All of a sudden he starts shooting because it starts moving. Because we thought it was laying down. But the landscape went flat and then it dropped like 20 feet or 15 feet. So it was standing the whole time because we thought it was laying down because of how the grass was. So he shoots all 5 of his rounds. I shoot, I think, 3 of mine. Because all of a sudden, I stop shooting because I see a second pair of antlers. And once the noise and everything stops going, I'm like, which one did you shoot at? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I saw a second pair of antlers. He's like, no. He's like, all right. He's like, take these rounds. So I had like 2 or 3 rounds left over. He went to go get the uncle because he was told not to come down unless we went and got him. That way he didn't scare or get in the way. So as he left, I heard like the 3 or 5 biggest breaths I've ever heard, and he was a ways away, and all I hear is like long, deep, so loud breaths. And so when he gets back, we walk down, blood drop here, blood drop there, blood drop here, like very small blood drops. And then all of a sudden he looks up, he's like, he's still breathing or still alive, do you want to mount or anything like that? And I look real quick and I'm like, no, bang. So I dropped it, put it out of this misery, That was the worst drag I've ever done in my life.
You guys dragged it out?
We had a hand crank come along, like 150 yards of rope, and the come along only had 25 feet of steel cable. So the rope was
Holy
stretched,
shit.
and it was 185 to almost 200 yards away from the road, from the truck, and it was so rooted and stumps that we couldn't drive out to it.
Wow.
The day before there was 10 3-packs of 4-wheelers driving around. Today, nothing.
Nothing.
We had the uncle or my dad drove into town. No 4-wheelers, no one in town. Like everyone was at church or something. And then finally it was like 6 hours later, we finally get it to the back of the truck and a pack of 4-wheelers show up. We're like, of course. Are you serious?
Of course.
But it was nice because they were able to help us pull it in the back of the pickup truck.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it would have been 3 of us after just doing all that. Trying to get in. It was only
Nope.
600
Yeah.
pounds, but still a lot of weight.
Yeah, that's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
A lot of awkward weight, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, dead weight. So
Oh yeah. I think we had my dad's truck, and I think we ended up denting the back of the bed because we used the come along right there.
Yeah.
So it sucked it in just a tiny bit.
Totally
His truck
worth
was
it.
old and he used it, so.
So when your family gets them, do they always drag them out, or do they ever quarter them up?
We've never quartered them up, I don't think. But most of the time, I think mine was the furthest one away. All the other ones were, I think, maybe 80 yards away.
Yep.
So I
I
mean,
think-
it's nothing.
I think I would want to drag it out, even though as much as that would suck, just for like the respect of like a massive animal
Right.
that big. Like, all right, I'm gonna drag you out, dude. Unless like I'm obviously like miles and miles away.
Well, that's the thing is, like, in Alaska, you're miles and miles away.
Yeah,
You're
right.
packing that sucker
you
out.
have to, right? In that situation, you have to. But like, if I'm hunting a local area or something like
Yeah,
that, I
like
feel
even like Berlin or Stewartstown, anywhere up there, there's a boatload of logging roads. So you can get a truck down there or four wheelers or something
Right.
to get
Right.
it to that point.
Yeah.
So I guess it's not as bad, but
yeah.
It might have been easier to quarter it. It probably would have, but we also didn't have packs or anything. So we probably would have been like
Yeah.
throwing it over our shoulder and something like that.
yeah, and you can't weigh it. Like
Yeah.
you
Right.
properly, you can't
Right.
weigh it, which
Yeah.
kind of
Not
sucks.
that I was too worried about it. We knew it was a smaller one, but
Did you get it mounted?
So I only got the antlers done. So my dad cut like the skull in half, like the top.
Yeah, like the skull plate.
Yeah, and then he has, since he's got moose before, he has some of the hides,
Yep.
and he kind of just forms the hide over it. So
Oh, that's
it's
cool.
Not like the skull. So it looks pretty good.
Yeah, that's
Does that one-
cool.
Does that one have the hoofs curled up too, or is that a different
No,
one?
that one's at my mom's.
Okay.
So my mom has 2 moose heads and then moose hoofs to hold.
I want one of those so bad.
Like,
I don't
That's
know how to
pretty cool.
like. I've watched YouTube videos on how to do it,
Yeah.
but it seems so meticulous.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm all set. I'm good.
it's a good try with the deer. It's a good way to start.
Yeah,
little
I
small.
want to, but like I said, like I
But what else are you gonna do with them?
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter if you ruin it at least.
No.
Yeah.
yeah.
Plus,
true.
you get 2 of them or
Four.
two sets.
True.
Yeah, 2 sets.
It's true.
Well, you probably get fucking 12.
Yeah. That's why I got a kick out of it because I was
I
watching
think
one.
you'll
I
be
think,
okay.
I think it was your shed hunting and scouting video where you're like, "Oh, I'm like the worst shed hunter ever." And I was like, "Yeah, but at least you like you could shoot something. Like, I can only find sheds, so that's I have the opposite problem."
I am so like the last 3 years I've probably put on. I'm just like 50 plus miles, right, in like 3 months each, right. Nothing. Like I'm talking nothing. Not even like a 3-inch spike. The dogs find, dead bodies, but no horns on them ever. It's my kryptonite. I'm telling you.
Last
Keith
spring I was
found one.
turkey hunting, and I pretty much stepped on a skeleton of a deer that had a nice little fork on top, so I grabbed the skull from that. Then later on, this turkey hunting season, I found a nice, like a one side of a 6-pointer. And then just last weekend, I think it was, I was walking out to check one of my trail cams,
Unreal.
and I'm literally, like, the tree was maybe 10 feet away from this log that was on the ground. So I'm walking towards that tree that has the camera on it, and I look down at that log, and I just see like that much of an antler just hanging out of the snow. So I brush the rest of the snow off, and sure enough, a little spike.
Unbelievable.
What was it, like 2 inches showing?
He texts
Probably,
me and he
yeah.
goes, not to add to your shed hunting woes, but I found this. I wanted to say you're an asshole.
I was shocked I didn't get more of a sarcastic response.
I go,
You were too nice about
good
it.
find, buddy.
Because my first thought, as soon as I saw it, was, oh, Justin's gonna be pissed, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna send it to Brandon too.
I would just send you a middle finger.
You would have too.
Absolutely.
So I haven't found any sheds back home, but I was stationed up in Alaska for 4 years, and I went moose hunting a couple times because you don't need a lottery up there. I was able to find a caribou shed one side and then a moose right behind my apartment.
Really?
We're at Alaska.
Fairbanks.
Fairbanks.
Yeah.
No shit.
The moose was probably, I don't know, I would say 15, 25 inches.
At least, yeah.
I went to
And
Fairbanks as
caribou
well.
was something like that. Like
Did you hunt there when you were stationed there?
Yeah, I went on a couple hunts, but I didn't see any. Oh, I saw one. A guy ended up being in front of me as I pulled up a dirt road and had a nice bull moose, probably 700 to 800 pounds. And he dropped him, and then I went back a couple times. I never saw anything else.
I remember when I was at Fairbanks, I saw one like at the air base, like leaving. Like, it was like on like the grass patch, like when you're leaving the base. I was like, this is freaking sweet. Hopefully there's one like waiting for me at the hotel. I'll just fucking ride him back home. You know?
Were you Military? Or-
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was I went there for a trip, and like we were driving to the hotel to the North Pole Inn, I think it is, right?
North Pole, yeah.
Yep, I was going that way, and like we were leaving the base, and I saw it, and I was like, "Holy smokes! This thing's just sitting there, just chowing down, just hanging
I almost
out."
hit two of them leaving North Pole going to Fairbanks. They were right in the middle of the road. I missed one, swerved out of him. I was looking back, looking at him, and then I look up. There's another one right in front of me. I almost hit him too.
So, so the second one was kind of your fault.
Yeah, because I wasn't paying attention.
Just throw them
Can
on the
you
back.
do it yourself hunt for moose? Up there?
Yes,
You can.
yes. And it's so
Dude.
So
if
I thought
you're
you were gonna
military
have a
up
guide.
there, they consider you a resident,
Right.
and it's cheap. It was like $120, and you got moose, 2 or 3 dull sheep tags. What else?
I'm moving
We
to
have one
Alaska.
up there.
Right?
Oh no, I think it was 3 caribou, 1 dull sheep, or something like that. For $120.
That's pretty cool.
Holy
Something
shit.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's
But
the one
you get 5
benefit.
tags.
Wow.
That's the one benefit about like being some military aspect is like you gain residence of where you're at.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, all right, cool. Well, when I first moved here, I lived in South Elliott, but I was a resident of New Hampshire, so I got New Hampshire tags and Maine tags for
Yeah.
all residents. I'm like, all right,
That's
cool.
sweet.
I'm just gonna go hunt wherever I can, you know,
Right.
do whatever I want, fish wherever I want to fish.
You can't do that now though, right? Because now you're a main resident.
Yeah, now I'm a Maine resident, so now I
Are you
got.
still in too or no?
I switched over to the guard.
Okay.
Yep. So went to the dark side, but it's
So were you Army or
no Air Force.
Air Force?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I would love to go up to Alaska and do a hunt because it's just so. And number one, it's just beautiful up there.
Oh, yeah.
Like the scenery alone was gorgeous. I would totally do that again. Just go up there. I love to do a hunt. I wouldn't do as much as I want to see Kodiak bear. I don't think I'd ever go. I don't think I have those cojones. But
you could still see them in North Pole and stuff.
yeah.
Because supposedly at Fairbanks, we had a moose get taken down by grizzly or Kodiak, but they don't know if someone poached it or if it was an actually bear attack.
Oh wow,
So I never heard the outcome of it.
that's crazy.
But the thing was shredded from what I heard.
I would shit my pants if I saw one of those in the woods.
I'd shit my pants for just a normal bear.
Dude, when we were in Bridgewater, we were up there because his wife's uncle like has a spot where we could hunt. He's telling us all these stories of like bears this, bears that, all the bear crap everywhere, this and that. And he shows us our trail cam pictures, and yes, bears everywhere.
And all his stories with the bears.
night before we're about to go sit in the woods at the pitch black, we're in bear country. He goes, "Oh yeah, one time I was sitting there and I just had this, he had seen a bear from the other side of him. And he goes, I was like getting ready to take the shot, this, that, and then I just had this feeling like somebody was screaming bear in my ear. He goes, and I turned and there was one right there." And he goes,
Heading right towards them.
yeah. And like I was like, why are you telling me these stories now? I gotta go sit in the dark in the woods in the morning. Like I don't want to hear this.
Yeah, like black bears don't scare me as much as like a brown bear. Or,
Right.
Because you can just wrestle them, right? Because they're about the same weight.
Yeah, I mean that, and like you can scare the shit out of a black bear.
Right.
Like you can like yell at them or like bow up, and they're gonna 90% of the time they're gonna run the other way.
Yeah, but that 10%.
Yeah, that too.
That
I mean,
10% when they come and claw me my face. Yeah.
but like a brown bear, you're not doing that.
Yeah.
See,
you're
I
right.
just see it.
Even with a gun,
I wanna
like you
pet
shoot
it.
that sucker in the skull, he's still
He's still
like
coming at you.
he's still coming at you. It's
Unless
gonna
you got
happen.
like a 50 cal.
I know, but
I don't want to be like one of those around the woods trying to look for a moose either, though. So.
yeah, the bear hunting thing
I'm supposed
sketches me out though in the dark.
to be going on a guided bear hunt next year.
Really?
Yeah.
Where?
Here?
Up north in New Hampshire. JF Guides or Jeff Reese is his name. I can't remember his guide service.
That name sounds wicked familiar.
He works at. Forget where he works.
Is it like a week long?
I don't know how long I'm gonna have. I'll probably only have like 3 days because I'm gonna do it with time off.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 days.
Still,
I think it's still in the works.
is it all baited?
Yep.
Yeah.
He baits it
You'll,
all and everything.
you'll be able to most
Oh, yeah.
likely be able to at least shoot something within the first 4 days.
Oh yeah.
So are you gonna do bow or are you gonna do rifle?
I would love to do bow. I'm gonna see if I can zone in on my bow skills and see if I can do it.
So what do you guys have for bows?
I
Beat
got
me
a,
to it, you asshole.
I got a G5 Quest that I bought in 2015 when I was actually up in Alaska.
Oh, nice.
So I just got into bow hunting last year. I've like shot, like messed around shooting bows since what, like fifth
Junior high.
grade. But I've never like shot well, like enough that I felt confident to go hunt. Plus, I never had my archery license because I've heard that maybe it's combined now. But when I took the course, it was either rifle or archery. You could
Yep.
get both. So I had to go back to take my archery course. And
I had to do that, too.
offered it online last year. So I was like, oh sweet, I'll do the online version. So I decided to get into it. Well, my bow that I have is pretty outdated now, or was outdated. So I was looking around. I bought a used one off of a guy on Facebook Marketplace, to be honest with you. It's a Hoyt, what is it, XT1000 or something like that.
Yep.
So I think it's an older Hoyt, but good enough. I think I put a deer down with it, so
Yeah.
I should have shoot
See
more
one?
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What's that?
You gotta
I see one too. That's important. Yeah.
Yeah,
JR.
it's all about practice with bows, man. I'm addicted, like
Oh, I know.
really bad, and I shoot like 50 arrows a day. Even during the winter, usually I'll shoot at least 10 or 15. Yeah, it's an addiction, or it's the people that go out every other weekend or whatever and wound a bunch of deers. It's either one or the other, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, you seem to do that too, so.
Wow.
I just go sit in the woods and like hang out for a few hours and then go home. It's kind of my thing.
One way I look at it is my rifles and my bow need exercise too. So I take them for a walk,
Yeah.
get them outdoors, and
Because everyone's trying to stay in shape,
right.
Well, taking my gun for a walk is the best thing to do.
So you guys both archery hunted last year?
Yeah. I've archery hunted a couple years now, but still haven't seen anything.
Really?
Since the spike that I got, 2017? But that was with a rifle.
And the last time I had that 10-pointer on camera was right before bow season started, pretty much. So I thought I had a chance, and I went out there and I did a thing.
I was close to getting one because, talking about how we hunt and everything, I sit on the ground a lot, but then depending on the terrain, I'll walk a lot and stalk. And one year I walked up on 3 does that were 40 yards away, but stupid me, getting all excited, I moved while they were looking at me. And they kind of hobbled across. They didn't like book it, so I probably could have gone and shot, but my release wasn't hooked up and all that, so I would have been fumbling, and I was like, nope, just let him go.
Yeah.
But I do a lot of stalking. I walked up a lot on one of his uncle's property, but didn't know what it was, so I didn't shoot.
Yeah.
So like with stalking, is that like you just kind of like you look for like signs of them and then like you follow them and then just kind of like play the wind direction yourself? Because I'm the newest one I think I ever in this room with hunting, so I'm just trying to make sure like how to walk up on a deer and ride them.
Don't ask me.
If it's snowed out, yeah, I'll definitely follow the tracks. Or if I have a camera there, I'll walk. Like in Lee, it's kind of a swampy area, so I'll walk along the swamp, and then I'll walk back, or I'll sit and then I'll walk to see if there's anything. Or like his property, there's roads going down, like two different roads that are probably 80 yards apart.
Something like that, yeah. There's a
then
whole
they
bunch of clearing.
Reconnect on the backside. That probably all the way through is like 100 yards of woods inside that area. So I'll walk down one way, go across and walk back down because I might push him the other way. So I walked up on one that was in the swamp at his uncle's. He was probably 60 yards away. I had my gun, but I just couldn't see what it was.
Oh, nice.
See, that's why I don't walk. Because most of the time you're not going to get a shot. They're either going to smell you or see you by the time that you even get close to them.
That
Like,
one
you'll
didn't even
see him,
me.
but-
He didn't see me, he didn't know I was there. He was just, his nose was on the ground the whole time. But there's so much brush I just couldn't see the
Yeah.
top of his head. And then he just moseyed away. I was crouched down waiting for him to move, or it to move, and
Yeah.
didn't do anything to let me see.
Yeah, I'm a big stan. Like I can't get away from it. I just try to put the homework in. That way I'm not like stinking up the place.
Yeah.
I guess.
See, I think if I was like fit enough, which obviously I'm not, to grab like the what the
Tree climber?
drawing a blank, not the climbing stands, but just the sticks that you
Yeah.
strap to the tree.
Oh.
Like, if I could do that, that'd be a stand hunter all day, because then I could be more mobile and like not
It's-
have to have 20 tree stands like you do. And
It's not that. I always get shit on.
It's like a roll of the dice. Which one am I going to today?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know, Brendan. These guys asked us to be here for an intervention. This isn't a podcast anymore.
Tree stand intervention. Like the setups that I have, you're looking at like 40 to 50 pounds of tree stand sticks and like ratchet straps or whatever. It's not as bad as you'd think, and depending on where you go, most people aren't going out a mile to their spot. So if you can get them out, it's not that bad. I'm not in shape. I can tell you that right now, and I get them out there.
Yeah, but to his point, I might go with a weight limit for most of those too, because I'm pushing 300 myself.
Maybe you could probably, what you could do is buy a good one
Yeah.
for like $200-$300, and those good ones are really light,
Okay.
like super light with the sticks. I mean, you're probably
Good
talking
seat cushions too.
Yeah, good ones.
But I mean, you're still probably pushing the weight limit. I mean,
I don't know, because like Lone Wolf, like some of the guys that use those are pretty big.
Oh.
And they're light. The sticks are light, and you're getting into them for like about $450. But if they're easy to set up and take down,
It's worth it.
it's
Yeah.
worth the money.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
go to clearance a lot.
What's that?
He's forgot that we go to clearance.
Well,
Where do you think I'd look for that?
that's what I do.
His kids don't get birthdays.
We skip over that.
or maybe they do. They're just for him. It's like, hey, look, I got you a tree stand. You can have it when you're 18.
You want to eat, right?
How did you know that? How did you know that that's what I do?
Because I'm married to your sister.
Oh my god. But like all my tree stands are clearance.
Yeah.
Like I don't spend more than $45 on a tree stand.
Really?
Nope.
So have you looked into the
more
new one?
often?
What?
Saddle, have you looked into that at all?
Yeah, I've looked into it. Like I'm a part of some groups.
It's a lot of
and
money right now.
It's not for me. Like I don't want. It's too granola for me. Like the only thing I can equate it to is like you're talking like say mountain bikes and the street bike, like
Yeah.
the people that go 100 miles on those bikes on the side of the road.
Right.
I don't know. I can't get into it. I have a buddy that does it. He's all about it, but I'm good.
So I just did like a quick Google on like
Oh.
tree standards, right? Weight standards. It says if it means that your stand is weighted for 300-pound weight limit, that means the TMA tested it to 600 pounds and it passed.
See, I always know that they do go overboard like that,
Oh, yeah.
but I didn't know it'd be twice the amount.
That's a good thing to
Normally
know.
they
That
do
is good to
twice.
know.
Everything
See?
they do is twice.
See?
Makes
There
me
you
feel a
go.
little better.
I mean, I wouldn't have thought like a double the standard because that's a lot.
That's a lot,
But
yeah.
I mean, that's good to know.
Isn't it the same way with like ropes too, though?
Yes.
Well, almost
Oh,
anything
right.
that's weight rated. I mean, I work in aerospace, and even our stuff that we have, we undersell what the actual requirement is. That way, you leave yourself a little bit of a window where
Yeah.
if it does break, you're like, oh, well, you said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. You guys can get tree stands now.
Well,
guys
I
are
have a tree stand. It's the 2-1, and it's sitting under a pile of snow, just waiting for me to pay some attention to it.
So it's still there.
Yeah.
I don't even have a tree stand.
Yeah, no. Because you gave it to him. Because
Yeah.
you needed another one.
No, I gave it to Brian, and then I sold the other one.
So you guys with the YouTube page are doing some like instructional stuff as well with making lures and
I saw like a feeder thing on there.
Yeah,
the
and
feeder, the bow.
The funny thing about the feeder one, real quick, more people watched part 2, where it's just me carrying it out in the woods and setting it up on a tree, than they did actually how it was made. I was like, interesting, but yeah, no.
People nowadays, it's like a time thing.
Yeah.
Like even with some of my videos that I've put on there, if you don't put the right caption They're not watching it.
Well, it's funny because I noticed,
Period.
like, so we both have scouting videos on our pages. You put the words shed hunting in yours, and you have like 300 something views, I think, and mine has like 15. Like, it's, I mean, we're still getting into it, so like, I'm not super confident in my editing yet. I'm not, like, so I do all the editing for us because it's easier to have one person do all of it.
So you can throw all the bloopers of me.
That, and I can make sure look funny, whereas, like,
Like our last podcast.
So-
it's a lot of work, man.
So is your guys' main focus for your channel gonna be hunting and fishing? That's it.
in general, hunting and fishing. We're gonna, like Brandon said, we're gonna have some other stuff as far as like just. So what kind of the style we're kind of going towards, I guess. So like I mentioned earlier, the Hunt Public and Goon Squad have kind of influenced us a little bit. The Hunt Public obviously are strictly hunting. I mean, they have some spear fishing, a couple things here and there, but I liked that the Goon Squad kind of did some outside the box things, like not just strictly fishing, not just strictly hunting. Like they do some other stuff, like hey, we did some trapping today, or we
Or
built some
competitions.
structure to put in our pond, kind of thing. Like so.
Right.
I just think it's cool to like see different things that in case anybody else was ever thinking about wanting to do it, like we're trying to kind of show that you can do it still on a budget and stuff, and that you
Right.
can be a normal dude and still make your own lures. And like one of my goals for this year is to catch a fish on a lure I made.
Right.
Especially
So-
with COVID going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right.
much fishing and hunting gear has been bought this year.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, and I think that's a great thing for like his what he wanted to do, and why I think Brandon and I got interested in is I like the fact that you're not focusing solely on hunting. I
Right.
mean, even though the last 3 of our podcasts have been, but like the other great thing is we're going to try to cover everything
Yeah.
outdoor related.
Anything outdoors is so I bring kind of the hunting. I don't fish as much. I bring the hunting-esque to the show. He brings the fishing, and Chris is big into
Anything with a motor. I
power
fucking
sports. We just want to bring the outdoors to people.
Yeah.
love. And this is why we want to get Brian on here, so that way I have someone to talk to.
Yeah.
Too, because
Yeah,
if I talk
Brian-
about sleds and bikes over here, these guys.
That's me.
Right.
I've never rode a sled. You know.
Right.
But
So-
I think it's important for, like I said earlier, is normal people doing normal things
Right.
that everybody does,
Yeah.
and not producing it to a point where it's a TV show
Right.
or it's just natural, and normal people that aren't TV stars or YouTube stars are doing it.
Yeah.
It's just more natural.
So I gotta keep the bloopers in there, man, like that phone call.
I mean, I'm using like a free version of the editing software, and like we're using hand-me-down GoPros. I did end up upgrading from the fake Vivitar GoPro thing that I had to an actual GoPro,
Yep.
and down the line I ended up buying a second one. But all stuff I bought off Facebook Marketplace for
Right.
like a quarter of the price it goes for new.
Yeah.
We even use our cell phones once in a while,
Oh, quite a bit actually, yeah.
especially
Yep.
for ice fishing.
And then the other thing is too is like I noticed, like I mentioned those other channels, that all the big channels, I shouldn't say all, a lot of the big channels all seem to be down south or out west or something like
Yeah.
that. I didn't see a huge
Yeah,
population of like
northeast.
northeast, like New England channels. So that was another reason why we kind of figured we'd do it, and because I know I'm like sometimes interested in what's going on in other areas of the country as far as hunting and fishing go. So
Yeah, so just to like help you out on that. So when I got orders to live up here, to get stationed up here, first of all I had no clue where New Hampshire was. I thought it was New York, Mass, Maine, and then like Vermont and New Hampshire were just like there somewhere in the United States. I don't know where, right?
Canada,
That's that Florida education for you, right?
Holy shit.
But so I was like, oh well, I was gonna get into hunting in Oklahoma because that's where I was stationed at, and I was like, cool, you know, like I had this like a buddy of mine, him and I were gonna go out, but I was leaving during the time we were gonna go. So I was like, okay, well, let me look up like New Hampshire, right? And I didn't find anything
Yeah.
on New Hampshire. I was like, okay, well, none of this is helpful. It's all like random, just hunting stuff on YouTube. So that will definitely help like those type of cases. People just getting new to the region or just new in general to hunting and fishing in this region would help.
I mean, for instance, last weekend I went up to, what town did I say that was? Groveton, New Hampshire, I think it was.
Sure.
And they had this snowball thing, something you probably been interested in, where they raced like snowmobiles side by sides. Actually, a lot of trucks I used to see at the mud runs in Lebanon.
Yep.
Were up there for that too. But unfortunately, it was not quite what we had thought. I was actually going to put a video together to post on our channel just to be like, this is the kind of stuff we do up here, like
Yeah.
over there. And the problem was that the viewing, we were too far away, so I didn't have camera equipment that could capture it well enough
Right.
and stuff like that. So I didn't end up posting it, but yeah, same idea. They'll just try to show like what we do outside and
Yeah.
kind of up here in the winter months when we can't hunt and fish as much, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
That's
Cool.
awesome.
What are we pushing here? 58 minutes. So we'll kind of close it out. Just let people know where they can find you and your page and Instagram or Facebook or.
So we haven't moved on to Facebook and Instagram yet, but we do have our YouTube channel. It's JK Hunt and Fishing. We tag all of our personal Instagrams and our videos stuff, but my Instagram's kpulliot16. And what are you?
Don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it's carl.sargent923. Pretty
Sounds
sure.
right.
Just from editing his videos so often. But yeah, so check us out there, and yeah. Thanks
Cool.
for having us on.
Cool. Well, I
Thank you.
appreciate you guys joining us, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
thanks guys.
Thanks.
Fun.
This is White Oak Creek Outdoors, a podcast for everyone with a passion for the outdoors.